Hi. This is not very flattering lighting. I don't know. I have weird lighting in my room. I have all these lights on. I have the lanterns on my ceiling. There's those, and there's two other strands, and then I have the light over there, the light over there, and the light here. But still, for some reason, it looks a lot darker than I perceive it to be. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the shape of my room. Anyway, last week at my school was STAR testing week. Now, I'm not sure if it's just California that does STAR testing. I know there's standardized testing in the rest of the United States. I think there's standardized testing in the rest of the United States. But anyway, we had STAR testing all last week. Well, 4 days of last week. Monday, we just had a normal schedule. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we had STAR testing. And this meant we spent 3.5 hours of each day sitting in our tutorial classroom. I don't like my tutorial teacher. She's my history teacher. Don't like history or tutorial. But we spent 3 hours, 3.5 hours actually, even, bubbling in answers to the tests. Each of these tests were at least 60 questions long. I think the shortest one was 60 questions long. English one was like 88 or something. I don't know. English was my forte, so I did well on that. English is my forte. There's no vocabulary section. Actually, we take STAR tests from like 2nd grade on. Yeah. And so the STAR tests, they're measured by the state to measure our school's performance as a whole. They don't affect us individually, that I know of. I think they don't really affect us individually. Like, they'll give us our scores, our individual scores, but it doesn't affect our grade or our coursework or our application to college necessarily. Yeah, we took STAR tests. We take them all the way through junior year of high school. Anyway, I forget what day it was. It may have been Thursday or Wednesday, Thursday. We had the math STAR test. Now, math, I knew I wasn't going to do very well in, especially because last year I was in geometry, and this year I'm back in Algebra 1. Our school, we call it advanced algebra, where in reality the entire rest of the world probably calls it Algebra 2. But I'm in Algebra 1 again because to go on to Algebra 2 there was a survey thing and I failed that twice. Anyway, I'm not a good math student. I'm not good in maths. So, but anyway, the tests are in 2 parts. Our teacher generally let us work through because then we'd have extra time at the end to just chill. So I opened the test booklet to the second part of the math test and then realized the entire thing's on quadratics. Now, this wouldn't be too much of an issue if we hadn't just learned the concept of a quadratic the day before. I feel like my head is tilting to the side. Maybe it is. Anyway, that wouldn't have been much of an issue if we hadn't learned the concept of a quadratic the day before. So I did not do well on the math test, needless to say. But although a good thing, it doesn't affect us individually. It more affects the school and how much funding the school gets and property values and shit like that. Actually, in middle school, I went to a private middle school, and we still had to take standardized tests there. They weren't called STAR tests, they were ERBs, which I think stands for Educational Records Bureau. STAR stands for, I think, Standardized Testing and Reporting. I don't know, it said that on the front of our books, so that's what I assume. Yeah, in middle school, private middle school, we had to take ERBs, and those would measure our performance against other independent schools, and they'd give us a percentile grade, the students a percentile grade. Yeah. The other thing that happened last week, nothing happened this week, notice I'm not talking about it, but the other thing that happened last week is on Monday there was a college fair. I'm a sophomore actually, but sophomore year is almost over, and next year matters the most for college, and is when we start going on college tours, and then senior year, first semester, you start applying to college, especially if you're applying early action or early decision. My screensaver. especially if you're applying early something, then you know, have to get your shit done. Anyway, I went to this college fair on Monday. Last Monday. And they gave us a barcode. And so each booth we went up to and that we found vaguely interesting, or that the person talked to us, they'd be like, oh, let me scan your barcode. And so basically what this does is they had the same kind of thing at Macworld, where they scan the barcode and then it gives them the information that you've pre-filled out on a form online, so you don't have to fill out cards at each booth. I've only gotten 2 college emails so far, and that's a good thing because I don't want my inbox to be flooded with all this stuff, although I'm sure it's going to be. It's flooded now with mailing lists and not. Anyway, so also I went away from this fair with, and I'll show you. I'm just gonna gather this up because this will take a second. All the pamphlets and brochures and just shit that the colleges gave me. I'm pretty sure this weighs all a couple pounds. Yeah, this is my stack. See, because all these booths also gave me a brochure. I have, this one, and this one, and this one. That's not in America, actually. Colleges that were not in America were even there. This, and this one, and oh my god, there's a lot more. Let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's still 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I counted that one, 17, 18, 19. 19. And they didn't each just give me one thing. And many of them gave me 2 or 3 things. Like booklets or whatever. So that was interesting. And my week this week, I did nothing. I had school. Of course, I have school every week. Because I go to school. Because I'm a, kid in America. We're the kids in America. Whoa! Okay. I'm going to stop now before I sing more. Okay, bye.